there, beautiful souls. Welcome to another episode of Energize Your Passion, where we dive deep into the hearts of what makes us unique and celebrate the beautiful diversity of the human spirit. I'm your host, Sunshine, and today we're talking about something incredibly close to my heart, the ideal of being an acquired taste. Now, if you're wondering what that means or how it applies to you, stay tuned. We're about to embark on a delicious journey of self discovery and empowerment. You know what we do here. Grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's get started. Let's kick things off by talking about savoring individuality. Have you ever tried a food that at first you wasn't quite sure about, but over time you grew to love? That's what being an acquired taste is all about. It's about having a richness and complexity that might not be immediately obvious, but becomes truly appreciated over time. Just like a fine wine or an exotic dish, you have layers that unfolds with every encounter. Imagine being a unique blend of spices in a world full of plain dishes. At first, some people might find you a bit too bold, too different, but those who stick around long enough to truly taste your essence will find themselves captivated by your uniqueness. It's not about changing who you are to fit someone else's palate. It's about being unapologetically you and letting the right people come to appreciate that. In a society that often pushes us towards conformity, standing out can feel daunting. But here's the thing, true beauty lies in our differences. Each one of us brings something special to the table. By savoring our individuality, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to the tapestry of humanity in a meaningful way. So next time you feel like you're too much or not enough, remember that you're simply an acquired taste. And just like any complex flavor, you'll find your connoisseurs, those who appreciate you for exactly who you are. I want to share a personal story that perfectly illustrates this concept. When I was in college, I had a friend named Eric. Eric was, without a doubt, an acquired taste. He was passionate about niche topics like obscure 19th century literature and experimental jazz music. At first, many people found his interests hard to relate to, and he often felt out of place in social settings. But Eric never changed who he was to fit in. He remained true to himself, sharing his passions with anyone willing to listen. Over time, those who took the time to get to know Eric discovered an incredibly intelligent, thoughtful, and loyal friend. His depth and authenticity was like a rich, complex dish that took time to fully appreciate. Eric didn't conform to fit the mainstream. Instead, he found his tribe, a group of friends who valued him for his unique qualities. This experience taught me the importance of savoring individuality and staying true to oneself. Another story that comes to mind is about my Aunt Betty. Betty always been a bit of an eccentric with a love for avant-garde fashion and abstract art. Growing up, she often felt out of place in our small conservative town. People didn't always understand her, and she faced a lot of pressure to conform. But Betty never let that change her. She embraced her uniqueness, and over time, she found a community that appreciated her for exactly who she was. Betty's story is a testament to the power of being an acquired taste. She's now a successful artist with a devoted following. People come from all over to see her work, and hear her speak about her creative process. By savoring her individuality and refusing to conform, she created a life that's authentically hers and inspiring to others. These stories highlight the beauty of being an acquired taste. It's not always easy, but the rewards of staying true to yourself and finding who truly appreciate you are immeasurable. So embrace your unique blend of spices and trust that the right people will come to savor your flavor. Remember, being an acquired taste means you have a richness and complexity that might not be immediately obvious, but becomes truly appreciated over time. Just like Eric and Betty, you'll find your connoisseurs, those who see the beauty in your uniqueness and value you for exactly who you are. Embracing uniqueness in a world of sameness. Although, now that we've talked about savoring our individuality, let's move on to embracing our uniqueness in a world that often celebrates sameness. It's easy to feel the pressure to conform, to fit into a mold that society deems acceptable. But here's the truth: fitting in is overrated. What really matters is standing out and being true to yourself. Think about the people who inspire you the most. Chances are they're not the ones who blend in. They're the ones who dare to be different. They're the trailblazers, the innovators, the ones who march to the beat of their own drum. By embracing your uniqueness, you become one of those people. You become a beacon of authenticity in a world that often feels artificial. Embracing your uniqueness means owning who you are, quirks and all. It means celebrating things that make you different instead of trying to hide them. It's about recognizing that not everyone will understand or appreciate you, and that's perfectly okay. The goal isn't to be liked by everyone, it's to be loved by the right people. When you embrace your uniqueness, you give others permission to do the same. You create a ripple effect of authenticity and acceptance that can transform lives. So stand tall in your uniqueness and remember that the world needs your special flavor. I want to share a couple of personal stories to illustrate this point. The first one is about my friend Valerie. Valerie has always had a distinctive sense of style. From bright mismatched colors to quirky accessories, she dresses in a way that makes her feel happy and confident. Growing up, she often faced criticism and teasing for her fashion choices. People told her to tone it down and dress more, air quotes, normally. But Valerie refused to let those comments dim her light. She embraced her uniqueness and continued to express herself through her clothing. Fast forward to today. Valerie is a successful fashion designer with her own line of clothing. Her bold and unique designs have gained a loyal following. By staying true to herself and embracing her individuality, Valerie not only found her passion, but she also inspired others to do the same. She's a living example of how embracing your uniqueness can lead to success and fulfillment. Another story I'd like to share is about my best friend Daniel. Daniel has always been passionate about environmental conservation. While his peers was more interested in traditional career paths, Daniel dedicated his time to studying the environment and advocating for sustainable practices. Initially, he felt isolated because his interests were so different from those of his friends and family. However, Daniel never wavered in his commitment. He embraced his passion and used it to fuel his career. Today, Daniel is an environmental scientist working on groundbreaking projects to combat climate change. His dedication has earned him respect and recognition in his field. Daniel's journey shows that embracing your uniqueness, even when it feels like you're swimming against the tide, can lead to meaningful and impactful work. These stories highlight the power of embracing your uniqueness, whether it's through fashion, career choices, or any other aspect of your life. Staying true to yourself is key. It's about celebrating what makes you different and using those qualities to create a positive impact. So the next time you feel the pressure to conform, remember Valerie and Daniel. Remember that fitting in is overrated and that the world needs your special flavor. Embrace your quirks, celebrate your differences, and watch as you inspire others to do the same. By being authentically you, you not only enrich your own life, but also contribute to a more diverse and vibrant world. I'll share one more story that's close to my heart, my own journey. Growing up, I always had a deep love for storytelling and helping others. I was the kid who would rather spend time reading books and writing stories than doing what everyone else was doing. I often felt out of place because my interests didn't align with the mainstream. People would tell me to pursue more practical paths, but deep down, I knew where my passion lay. Embracing my uniqueness wasn't easy. It took a lot of courage to pursue a passion that combined my love for storytelling and my desire to inspire others. But I stayed true to myself, and that's how Energize Your Passion was born. This podcast is my way of embracing uniqueness and sharing it with the world. And the best part, it has allowed me to connect with so many amazing individuals who value authenticity and empowerment. My journey taught me that when you embrace your uniqueness, you open doors to opportunities you never thought possible. You attract people who resonate with your authentic self and build a community that celebrates diversity. It's a beautiful ripple effect of positivity and acceptance. So, my dear listeners, stand tall in your uniqueness. Embrace who you are, quirks and all. Remember, the world needs your special flavor. And by being unapologetically you, you can create a positive impact that goes far beyond your wildest dreams. Keep shining, keep inspiring, and know that you are perfect just the way you are. The journey of self-discovery. Now, let's dive into the journey of self-discovery. Discovering that you're an acquired taste often involves a deep exploration of who you are. It's about peeling back the layers and embracing the aspect of yourself that you may have once felt self-conscious about. Self-discovery is a beautiful, ongoing journey. It's about understanding our values, passions, and what truly makes you tick. It's about recognizing the unique blend of qualities, experiences, and perspectives that make you who you are. And as you embark on this journey, you'll start to attract those who are drawn to your particular flavor. One of the most powerful aspects of self-discovery is the realization that your quirks and differences are your strengths. They set you apart and make you memorable. They are the ingredients that create your unique recipe. Take some time to reflect on what makes you different. Embrace those qualities and let them shine. Remember, the journey of self-discovery is not about reaching a destination. It's about enjoying the process and continually evolving into the best version of yourself. I'd like to share a few stories from our listeners who have genuinely shared their journey of self-discovery with us. These stories highlight the transformative power of embracing our uniqueness and understanding of your true self. Our first story comes from Emily. Emily wrote to us about her journey of self discovery that began during a particular challenging point in her life. She had always been the quiet, introverted type, often feeling out of place in social situations where outgoing personalities dominated. For years, she tried to change herself, pushing to be more extroverted and social, but this only made her feel more disconnected from her true self. One day, Emily decided to stop trying to fit into a mold that wasn't hers. She began to embrace her introversion and see it as a strength rather than a weakness. She realized that her quiet nature allowed her to be a great listener and a thoughtful friend. She started to blog where she shared her introspections and personal growth journey. Her authenticity resonated with many readers, and she built a supportive community around her blog. Emily's story is a beautiful example of how self discovery and embracing your true self can lead to a fulfilling and impactful life. Another inspiring story comes from Marcus, a listener who shared his experience of discovering his passion for art. Growing up in a family that valued practicality and conventional careers, Marcus always felt pressured to pursue a path in business or engineering. However, he found himself drawn to painting and sculptural activities that his family didn't see as viable career options. Despite the pressure, Marcus couldn't ignore his passion. He spent years practicing his art in secret, feeling torn between his passion and his family's expectations. Eventually, he reached a breaking point and decided to follow his heart. Marcus enrolled in art school and started sharing his work online. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and he began to attract a following of people who appreciated his unique style. Marcus's journey of self-discovery was challenging, but it led him to a place of authenticity and joy. He now works as a full-time artist and finds immense satisfaction in creating and sharing his art with the world. His story reminds us that embracing our passions and staying true to ourselves can lead to a fulfilling and authentic life. Lastly, we have a story from Sophia, who discovered her unique voice in activism. Sophia had always felt strongly about social justice issues, but was often afraid to speak up. She feared that her opinions would be too controversial and that she would be judged for being too outspoken. For a long time, she kept her thoughts to herself, feeling frustrated and powerless. However, a pivotal moment came when Sophia attended a local protest. The energy and passion the crowd inspired her to finally find her voice. She began to speak out, sharing her views on social media and organizing community events. Her activism quickly gained traction, and she became a respected voice in her community. Sophia's journey of self discovery empowered her to embrace her passion for social justice and make a meaningful impact. These stories from Emily, Marcus, and Sophia show us that the journey of self discovery is about peeling back the layers to reveal our true selves. It's about embracing our unique qualities and using them to create a life that is authentically ours. Their experiences remind us that our quirks and differences are our strengths, and by embracing them, we can lead fulfilling and impactful lives. So, my dear listeners, take some time to reflect on what makes you different. Embrace those qualities and let them shine. Remember, the journey of self discovery is not about reaching a destination, it's about enjoying the process and continually evolving into the best version of yourself. Navigating misunderstandings and misconceptions. Let's talk about something that every acquired taste will encounter: misunderstandings and misconceptions. Being unique means that not everyone will get you, and that's perfectly okay. It's all part of the journey. There will be times when people misunderstand your intentions, misinterpret your words, or simply fail to appreciate your perspective. It can be frustrating, but it's important to remember that not everyone is meant to understand you. The key is to stay true to yourself and not let these misunderstandings shake your confidence. Instead of feeling discouraged, use these moments as opportunities to clarify and communicate your true self. Sometimes it takes a bit of time and patience for others to see your unique qualities. And if they still don't get it, that's their loss, not yours. Remember, the goal is not to be understood by everyone, but to be appreciated by those who matter. Keep shining your light, and the right people will be drawn to your authenticity. I want to share some stories from our listeners about how they navigated misunderstandings and misconceptions. These stories show the resilience and strength it takes to remain true to oneself in the face of misunderstandings. Our first story comes from Rachel. Rachel shared with us how she has always had a passion for holistic health and alternative medicine. In her community, these interests was often viewed with skepticism and misunderstanding. Friends and family would often dismiss her beliefs, calling them unscientific or even strange. This was particularly tough for Rachel, as she genuinely wanted to help people through her knowledge and practices. Instead of giving up, Rachel took these misunderstandings as a challenge. She started educating herself even more deeply and began sharing her knowledge through workshops and social media. Her efforts slowly paid off. People began to see the value in her approach as she built a community of followers who appreciated her unique perspective. Rachel's story is a testament to how perseverance and clarity can turn misunderstandings into opportunities for growth and connection. Next, let me tell you about Jake. Jake is an artist who specializes in abstract and unique type of art. Early in his career, he faced a lot of criticism and misunderstanding. Many people didn't see the value in his work, often dismissing it as nonsensical or irrelevant. This was disheartening for Jake, but he didn't let it deter him from his passion. Jake used his experiences to refine his artistic voice. He began explaining the meaning and emotion behind his pieces, helping others to see the depth and intentions in his work. Over time, he gained a loyal following of art enthusiasts who appreciated his unique vision. Jake's journey shows that staying true to your artistic expression, even when misunderstood, can lead to profound connections with the right audience. Another listener, Tanya, shared her experience with cultural misunderstandings. Tanya moved to a new country for work, and the way of communicating and her customs were often misunderstood. People would sometimes misinterpret her directness as rudeness or her cultural practices as odd. This made it challenging for her to build relationships at first. Tanya decided to approach these misunderstandings with patience and education. She took the time to explain her cultural background and the reason behind her actions. This helped break down barriers and fostered a greater understanding among her colleagues. Over time, she became a bridge between cultures, helping others to appreciate a diversity. Tanya's own story highlights the importance of patience and education in overcoming cultural misunderstandings. Lastly, I want to share a story from our listener, Lewis. Lewis has always been passionate about social justice and activism. However, in his conservative hometown, his views were often met with resistance and misunderstanding. People would label him as a troublemaker or dismiss his concerns as overblown. This made Lewis feel isolated at times. Instead of backing down, Lewis channeled his frustration into constructive action. He organized community discussions, wrote articles, and engaged with the local leaders to explain his perspectives and the importance of the issues he was passionate about. His persistence paid off as more people began to understand and support his cause. Lewis's story reminds us that standing firm in our beliefs, despite misunderstandings, can lead to a meaningful change and greater awareness. These stories from Rachel, Jake, Tanya, and Lewis show that misunderstandings and misconceptions are inevitable when you're an acquired taste. But they also demonstrate the power of resilience, education, and patience in navigating these challenges. By staying true to yourself and using misunderstandings as opportunities for growth, you can turn these moments into powerful connections and deeper understanding. So, my dear listeners, keep shining your light, even when it feels like others don't understand. Remember, the goal is not to be understood by everyone, but to be appreciated by those who matter. Your unique perspective and authentic self are valuable, and the right people will be drawn to your authenticity. Keep going, keep educating, and know that your journey is making a difference. Celebrating diversity in all its forms. Finally, let's celebrate diversity in all its forms. At its core, being an acquired taste is a celebration of diversity. It's about recognizing that the world would be a much duller place if we all looked, act, and thought the same way. Diversity is what makes life interesting and vibrant. It's what allows us to learn from each other and grow. By celebrating our differences, we celebrate a richer, more inclusive world where everyone feels valued and appreciated. So instead of trying to blend in, dare to stand out. Embrace your quirks, celebrate your uniqueness, and trust the right people will be drawn to your authentic flavor. Remember, you're not just an acquired taste, you're a unique masterpiece. I want to share some inspiring stories from our listeners about how they celebrate diversity in their lives. These stories highlight the beauty of embracing our differences and creating a more inclusive world. Our first story comes from Jeremy. Jeremy is a teacher who has always believed in the power of diversity in his classroom. He shared with us how he creates a warming environment for all his students, regardless of their backgrounds. Jeremy incorporates diverse cultures, languages, and perspectives into his lessons. ensuring that every student feels seen and valued. One memorable moment Jeremy shared was about a student named Amina, who had recently moved to the country and was struggling to fit in. Jeremy encouraged Amina to share her culture with the class, and she gave a presentation about her traditions and language. This not only boosted Amina's confidence, but also helped her classmate appreciate and celebrate her unique background. Jeremy's story shows how celebrating diversity in small, everyday ways can make a big difference in celebrating an inclusive and supportive community. Another beautiful story comes from Paya, who works in a corporate setting. Paya has always been passionate about promoting diversity and inclusive in the workplace. She started an initiative at her company to celebrate different cultures and traditions. Each month, they highlight a different culture, featuring foods, music, and stories from employees who belong to that culture. Paya shared how this initiative has transformed her company's culture. Employees feel more connected and appreciated, and there's a greater sense of community. One touching moment was when an employee from a minority background shared how much it meant to see their culture celebrated and acknowledged at work. Pious effort reminds us that celebrating diversity can create a more harmonious and engaged community. Then there's Miguel, a musician who uses his platform to celebrate diversity through his art. Miguel shared with us how he incorporates different musical styles and instruments from various cultures into his performances. He believes that music is a universal language that can bridge gaps and bring people together. Miguel recounted a powerful experience at one of his concerts where he collaborated with musicians from different cultural backgrounds. The audience was captivated. Many people approached him afterwards to express how much they appreciated the diverse sounds and perspectives. Miguel's story shows how art can be a powerful tool for celebrating and promoting diversity. Lastly, I'd like to share a story from Elena, who volunteers in an organization that supports refugees and immigrants. Elena shared how she helps new arrivals navigate their new environment, providing support and resources to help them feel at home. She organizes cultural exchange events where refugees and locals can share their stories, food, and traditions. One heartwarming moment Elena shared was about a potluck event where everyone brought a dish from their home country. The event turned into a beautiful celebration of diversity, with people sharing not just food, but also their stories and experiences. Elena's work highlights the importance of creating spaces where everyone feels valued and included. These stories from Jeremy, Paya, Miguel, and Elena illustrates the power of celebrating diversity in all its forms. Whether it's in the classroom, the workplace, through art, or in our communities, embracing and celebrating our differences enriches our lives and help create a more inclusive world. So, my dear listeners, as we wrap up today's episode, I encourage you to celebrate diversity in your own lives. Embrace your quirks, celebrate your uniqueness, and trust that the right people will be drawn to your authentic flavor. By doing so, you contribute to a more vibrant, inclusive, and beautiful world. Remember, you're not just an acquired taste, you're a unique masterpiece. Keep shining your light and celebrate the diverse flavors that make life so wonderfully rich and exciting. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I look forward to exploring more empowering topics with you in future episodes. Today, we've explored the journey of self discovery, the power of embracing our uniqueness, navigating misunderstandings, and celebrating diversity. Each of these themes is essential in helping us appreciate our own value and the value of others. Remember to take time to reflect on what makes you unique. Remember those qualities and celebrate the diversity around you. Share your stories, educate others, and create spaces where everyone feels valued and appreciated. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family. Let's spread the message of authenticity and inclusivity far and wide. And don't forget to subscribe to Energize Your Passion for more empowering content. Keep shining, keep celebrating, and keep being unapologetically you. Wow, what a journey we've been on today. We've talked about savoring individuality, embracing our uniqueness, the journey of self discovery, navigating misunderstandings, and celebrating diversity. I hope you have found some inspiration and empowerment in our discussion. Remember, being an acquired taste is something to be proud of. It means you have depth, complexity, and a unique blend of qualities that set you apart. Embrace who you are and trust that the right people will appreciate you for exactly who you are. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to encourage you to continue exploring and celebrating your uniqueness. Share your journey with others and create a ripple effect of authenticity and acceptance. Thank you so much for joining me on Energize Your Passion. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and loved ones. Join the conversation on our social media platforms and let us know how you're embracing your uniqueness. Let's spread positive energy and empowerment far and wide. Don't forget to subscribe to Energize Your Passion for more inspiring content. Until next time, stay true to yourself, keep shining, and remember that you are a unique and beautiful masterpiece. Have a wonderful day. This is Sunshine, signing off.